What happens when love turns into a game of psychological warfare? Or when a widow hires a sex worker to rediscover herself? What if a zombie apocalypse is actually the perfect backdrop for a romantic comedy? Today, we are breaking down 5 films that refuse to play by the rules of conventional cinema. From a marriage so toxic it becomes a murder mystery, to a quiet man who finds love in the most unexpected places, these movies will make you laugh, cry, and question everything you thought you knew about relationships. Here are 5 movies that redefine love, loss, and human connection. Directed by Adrian Lyne, the master of erotic thrillers, Fatal Attraction, Indecent Proposal. This film marks his return after a 20-year hiatus. Starring Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas, it is based on the novel by Patricia Highsmith, the queen of psychological noir. Expect obsession, manipulation, and a marriage built on lies. The climax is a slow burn explosion of paranoia. Vic finally commits the murder everyone suspected him of, but the film refuses to give you a clear villain. You sympathize with Vic's desperation while being repulsed by his actions. The payoff is deeply unsettling. Melinda stays with him, not out of love, but because she finally respects his darkness. Adrian Lyne forces you to question your own morality. Would you tolerate infidelity? Would you kill for love? The ambiguity lingers long after the credits roll, making this far more than a simple thriller. Directed by Edgar Wright and starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, this is the film that single-handedly resurrected the zombie genre while simultaneously parodying it. It is a romantic comedy, a horror film, and a buddy movie all rolled into one bloody, hilarious package. Sean is a 29-year-old slacker stuck in a dead-end job, a failing relationship, and a dysfunctional friendship with his lazy roommate, Ed. When a zombie apocalypse erupts, Sean sees it not as a nightmare, but as an opportunity to win back his ex-girlfriend, Liz. The conflict is absurdly simple. Sean must navigate the zombie-infested streets of London to rescue Liz, all while dragging his cowardly friend and his stepfather along. But the real conflict is Sean's immaturity. He has been a zombie long before the apocalypse, sleepwalking through life, avoiding responsibility, and blaming everyone else for his failures. The climax takes place in their local pub, the Winchester, where they fight off zombies using pool cues and jukebox records. The payoff is surprisingly heartfelt. Sean steps up, kills his zombified stepfather to protect Liz, and finally becomes a man. The film ends with Sean and Liz together, and Ed, now a zombie, chained in the garden, still playing video games with his best friend. Edgar Wright shows us that love is about compromise, and that even in the apocalypse, friendship endures. It is gross, it is hilarious, and it is genuinely romantic. Translated as Good Luck to You, Leo Grande. This is a two-hander British dramedy starring the legendary Emma Thompson. Directed by Sophie Hyde, it takes place almost entirely in a single hotel room, and it is one of the most honest films ever made about female desire. There is no dramatic twist or tragic ending. The climax is simply Nancy finally letting go, accepting her wrinkles, her sagging skin, and her desires without shame. She does not fall in love with Leo. She falls in love with herself. The payoff is revolutionary. This film argues that sexual liberation is not just for the young and beautiful. It is for every woman who has been told to be quiet, modest, and invisible. Emma Thompson delivers a performance so raw and vulnerable that you will forget you are watching a movie. You are watching a human being set herself free. Winner of the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, Geena Davis. This film is directed by Lawrence Kasdan and stars William Hurt and Kathleen Turner. It is a quiet, melancholic masterpiece about grief, routine, and the messy chaos of unexpected love. Macon Leary is a travel guide writer who hates travel. He is grieving the death of his son, stuck in a lifeless marriage, and obsessed with order and predictability. Enter Muriel, a quirky, unpredictable dog trainer who enters his life through a series of awkward encounters. She is everything Macon is not: loud, impulsive, and emotionally messy. The conflict is Macon's internal war. Can he let go of his rigid control and allow himself to feel pain and joy again? He resists Muriel at every turn, preferring the safety of his lonely routine to the terrifying vulnerability of love. The climax is devastatingly beautiful. Macon leaves Muriel to return to his sterile marriage, only to realize that safety is not happiness. In the final scene, he returns to her, standing in her chaotic home, holding her son, and finally breaking down. The payoff is cathartic. Love is not about finding someone perfect. It is about finding someone who sees your brokenness and stays anyway. This film reminds us that grief is not a straight line, and sometimes the messiest people save us from ourselves. Based on the wildly popular novel by Sally Thorne, this romantic comedy stars Lucy Hale and Austin Stoll. Directed by Peter Hutchings, it is the ultimate office romance. But with a twist. These two absolutely despise each other. Or do they? Lucy Hutton and Joshua Templeman are executive assistants competing for the same promotion at a publishing company. They are polar opposites. Lucy is bubbly, colorful, and overly friendly. Joshua is stoic, cold, and ruthlessly ambitious. Their conflict is a daily war of passive-aggressive notes, stolen lunches, and petty sabotage. But the deeper conflict? They are both terrified of vulnerability. Lucy uses her cheerfulness as armor. Joshua uses his coldness as a shield. Their hatred is actually an intense, undeniable attraction that neither of them is brave enough to admit. The climax is the classic rom-com confession, but with a razor-sharp edge. Joshua finally kisses Lucy, admitting that his cruelty was a defense mechanism because she made him feel too much. Lucy realizes that beneath his icy exterior is a man who loves her so fiercely it scares him. The payoff is pure, unapologetic joy. They get the promotion together, they get the love, and they get the happily ever after. This film is a reminder that hate is just love's ugly cousin. And sometimes the best relationships start with a little bit of fire. From the toxic obsession of deep water to the tender liberation of Boa Sort, Leo Grande, and the zombie apocalypse romance of Shaun of the Dead, these 5 films prove that love is never simple. It is messy, terrifying, hilarious, and sometimes absolutely insane. Whether you are healing from grief, discovering your own desires, or fighting off the undead for your ex-girlfriend, these movies remind us that connection is the only thing that makes life worth living. If you enjoyed this deep dive into love and chaos, smash that like button, comment which movie made you feel the most, and subscribe for more cinematic journeys.